congratulations to Tarleton State, Coach Whitten. They completely outplayed us. They were the better football team tonight. Unfortunately, we didn't do the things that it takes to win a football game. Starting with turning the ball over, we turned the ball over 3 times. They didn't turn over any. We didn't sustain blocks. They got off the blocks and made plays. We allowed them to get some big plays. They sustained their blocks. We weren't doing a great job getting off the blocks. We had some really nice returns in the kicking game. And then we tackled a guy right in front of the returner. We returned the ball maybe to the 35-yard line. I had a great scoring opportunity there. We ended up turning over on downs following that. Missed tackles, missed assignments. It just has nothing to do with them. If you go out there and on perimeter, you're supposed to block a guy and you pass him up for a different guy, he just has a free run to the guy catching the pitch. Hard to have a positive play. We turn the ball over, get the ball punched out, turn the tight end scot-free for a touchdown. Dropped a pick 6 opportunity. They caught theirs, we didn't catch ours. And that's my responsibility. It's the responsibility of our staff to have our guys ready to go and play better and play fundamentally sound and execute their assignments, and we didn't do it. Missed 2 field goals. They hit all theirs. So, that's the story. They outplayed us, and it's certainly disappointing.
Ken, do you want to start?
Sure. Coach, certainly a disappointing evening. About Dwayne Coleman, he ran for the 26-yard touchdown early. He was connected with Noah Short both on pass plays and on pitch plays. But the third quarter, the 2 interceptions, especially the one when you're in their zone and the ball over the middle, it was intercepted near the goal line. And then you got the Hayden Reed fumble. The turnovers really hurt.
Turnovers kill us. There's a huge advantage for the team that gets at least 1 more takeaway than their opponent. They had 3 more takeaways than us. We had none. We had 3. So it's hard to win a football game when you do that. That stat alone. But it's disappointing. We're in the red zone. We practiced that route a good bit in preparation for the game. He didn't see the corner. The tight end saw the corner. Tight end's trying to figure out if he should go underneath or over the top. He wasn't even looking for the ball. And he didn't see the corner and floated up there, and the kid picked it off. And we got a drag route running wide open. And he knows. We talked about it. Just, if he hits that guy, maybe it's a different story. But he's trying to make a play. Dwayne's trying to make a play. And like I said, he didn't see the corner, and the tight end crossed the safety's face, and he tried to throw it to him. And unfortunately, they ended up with the ball, and we didn't. I thought Dwayne played hard. He played really well at times. Played really hard. Played hurt. He got his ankle rolled up and got back out there. And I was proud of him for the effort he put in. I was proud of Cale Helms for coming in off the bench and making some plays. So he took us on that last drive and gave us a chance to kick what would have been a game-winning field goal. So, it's our responsibility. We gotta make sure we got those guys prepared and coached up to not make those errors.
Coach, just about your defense, you forced 7 punts today. We're talking to Caleb Fortner. He had a sack. Eric Ford had a sack. You were getting a bit of pressure on their quarterback. Andon Thomas had 14 tackles. It seemed like the defense gave you a chance to win.
They did. They answered the bell on more than one occasion. We gave up some big plays. That was disappointing. On defense, we gave up some big run plays. Got good running back. He busted out of there a couple of times. He's really fast. Got around the edge on us a couple of times. We missed some tackles. Tackling up high, and he was strong enough to run through some of those, gain some extra yards, and so we got to do a better job of that. But defense played hard. They played really well at times, and they did. We put them in some jams, and they got out of it. But just a couple times we relented and allowed them to score. So we just got to play better overall. It's everything. It's offense, defense, kicking game, coaching. It's everything. We got to do it better. If we don't do it better, that team next week beat us like nobody's beat us in a long time around here. We're going to play better.
Thanks, Coach. Joe.
Hey, Coach Monken. There were, especially early on, a lot of 2nd and long, 2nd and 8, 2nd and 9. What do you think was causing the lack of production on first down?
They were kicking our ass up front. We weren't blocking them. They were getting off of blocks. We couldn't run our fullback. We couldn't run our quarterback like we have done. They were running through us for 0 yards, 1 yard, minus yards. We got the ball in the perimeter a couple of times. Counter play wouldn't go. They'd run through us on a counter play, and we should be able to get some guys pulled and get around there. But they outplayed us. They just did a better job of playing blocks than we could block them.
And you mentioned, Dwayne the first time got his ankle rolled up, and then he went back in, obviously, for most of the second half and had to come out there right at the end. Ankle again, or how's he looking? Everything, is he possible for next week?
Oh,
what do
yeah.
you think?
I think he'll be ready to go for next week.
Okay.
It wasn't so serious that, I think that's in jeopardy, at least immediately. But he was hobbled. He wasn't full speed, and just felt like a full speed Cale Helms at the moment was probably going to be better.
And final question, Coach. Will you take a look at evaluating the place kicking position this week?
We're going to evaluate everything, all of it. So it's he's done a good job here in the spot, and I know nobody's more disappointed than him. So.
Go ahead, Sal.
Thanks, Coach.
Coach, on the play call that you threw to the tight end in the end zone, was that the idea to catch him maybe off guard, not expecting something like that? Because you had run the ball pretty effectively into the red zone.
Yeah, we're a team that runs the ball more often than we throw it, for sure. And you get some reaction when there's action one way. You get linebackers to move, you get secondary guys to move, people to support, and it creates some opportunities in the pass game. And that's something that we prepared for. Like I said, he just threw it to the wrong guy, and he thought he was open. He didn't see the corner, but really, if we throw it back to the weak side, and he throws it to the drag underneath route, there was nobody on it. And maybe he doesn't walk in, but we're going to complete the pass. We're going to still be in the red zone, and we don't score a touchdown. We get a chance to still kick a field goal and get 3 points. And I think at that moment we were up 7 points, so it would have put us at 2 scores. And he's disappointed. I am too. We all are. But he's trying to make a play and didn't make the right one.
Dawson's first game as the starting kicker, kind of the situations are not pretty high intensity. He's a young kicker, but do you have confidence that he can bounce back from something like this?
He's been really accurate to this point. And obviously we haven't played any games. But we put him in those situations and let him make kicks, and he's done a good job. And unfortunately, he missed that first one, and hopefully he was able to flush it and just line up and kick that second one. But you never know what's in their head. Hopefully it didn't affect the next one. But he can't allow a missed kick to affect the next time he goes out there and kicks. He's got a good leg, he's accurate, and he just got to line up and make it. So the first one, he just pushed it. You see that when it came off his foot, probably opened up a little bit too much. I didn't see a replay on the second one, but that one, we were in the middle. I hope we be able to knock that one through. They did. When they had their shot, they did.
Anyone else? Ken McMillan, Zoom, go ahead.
Hey, Jeff. I'm sure one of the things that gets under your skin here is 5 penalties, a couple of them really costly, not quite Army football.
Yeah, the ones that hurt, when we had the good return on the punt return, we tackled the guy right in front of the returner. That one hurts. The false start where we had the short yardage play, and we were going to go for it on 4th down. It's fourth and 1 or 2, and they go make a move call and they slide their front. And we prepare for that. We practice it all the time. Guys making loud calls and moving in front of us, and we flinched. So we ended up kicking a field goal there, and it would have been nice to take a crack at it at 4th and 1 or whatever it was, and try to see if we could get 7 points. We had a long pass completion. We had an illegal man downfield. It was an RPO. So on those RPOs, the lineman often will block like it's a run play, and the ball's got to come out quick. So he scrambled. And when we scramble on an RPO, you almost have to run the ball. You can't throw it on the field. So that wasn't Jeff Coe's fault. He was trying to block the play that was called. And we had some opportunities to throw to some open receivers. We had some pressures. They did a good job with some pressures. We had one there late in the game. We were trying to throw hot out there to Noah, and we just couldn't get over the guy's head quick enough. There's so many things, Ken, and it's just disappointing. And we still, as well as they played, and as poorly as we played against them, we still had a chance to win at the end. And credit them, they found a way, and we didn't.
Jeff, you have the rebuilt offensive line. I know you gave a lot of credit to Tarleton, but did you expect the offensive line to have this kind of trouble? You had 25 plays of 2 yards or less on 1st and 2nd down tonight.
No, I did not anticipate that. I thought we'd do a lot better job blocking them, and obviously we didn't. That's a very telling stat, because we we ended up in a lot of 3rd and longs, and we were lucky. A couple times we got pass interference calls against the other team, and we were able to salvage a drive. But that's not, excuse me, that's not where we want to be. We want to be in 3rd and short, get ourselves into 4th and manageable, and we weren't close to that today.
And Jeff, I'm not second guessing here, but I'm just curious about your decision making. Players learn as the season goes on, so do you. Last year, you rolled the dice on 4th down like it was, not even giving it second thought. What was your decision making on 4th down tonight?
All based on the analytics. So every one of the 4th downs a year ago were based on the analytics, and every 4th down tonight was based on the analytics. We have a number. It's a go for it at 4th and 2. And sometimes the book will say the number is 2, recommended 3. It might be go for it 10, recommended 11. All of those numbers are based on our success in the past and how we fared in those certain positions on the field, what the expected outcome of the game is, the point of the game, what's the point differential, how much time is left in the game. All that goes into the determination on what the number is at that time. So, if we're going to play the analytics game, then you got to play it. You can't just dabble in it, in my opinion. You can't say, well, this time I'm going to go with the analytics, and this time I'm going to go with my gut. It's all built so that the one 4th down call plays into the next 4th down call. And if you make it, you make it. If you you don't, you don't. But it's all built on the overall game, the expected outcome. Like I said, where we're at in the game, what the point differential is at that moment, and so that it makes our play calling and our decisions easier. That we don't just get to fourth down and say, okay, well let's try and go for it here. We know going into that new set of downs what our number is, and we try to get ourselves to that position so we can go for it on fourth.
But may I ask, 24 book was very established, and Bryson was awesome. Is the book a little, quote, safer this year because it's an unknown this early in the season?
No, I don't think so. Last year when we started the season, we didn't know either. In the first game or the second game, there weren't a bunch of games with the offense we were running, and Bryson had been a quarterback before, but we were a different team. Udo wasn't the running back 2 years ago either. So the analytics are built off of what they best can take from what we've done, our success rate, and they build the book off of that. So we got to trust it, and I do. It's been good for us. It's helped us win a lot of football games, and that's how we do it. Not everybody does it that way. Not everybody has a book. Not everybody believes in analytics, but I do. I think we're kind of built for that.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Coach, obviously, we've already talked about all the negatives from the game, but going into Kansas State, is there anything positive you can take from this game to build on?
I thought our guys played hard. I don't think it was a lack of effort. I think they were trying to play physical, play tough. We made some plays. We made some good plays. We got some stops. We had some fourth down stops. We had some big plays. We had some pitch plays. We had some pass plays. We had some good returns in the kicking game. And there were some good things. Not all of it was bad. We still had a chance to win at the end. So, as poorly as we played overall, we still gave ourselves a chance. And so there's positives to find. It's really hard to focus in on all the, we did this great, we did this great, we did this great. No, we'll just go out and win next week. There's so many things that we did poorly that it's hard not to look at those and figure out how do we do these better so that this doesn't happen again. And like I said, the team next week, they're going to be more talented, bigger, and better than the team we just faced. And that's no knock on Tarleton, but it's Kansas State.
Last question, James, as for football, wrap it up.
Hey, Coach. I got two questions for you. First one's a bit more existential. Second one's topical. First one, compared to last year, which I know this is a different team, but seems like on offense, right, you lose 21 pounds at quarterback, you lose 60% of your offensive line, you lose your top running back in Ken Kraetzer. What specific things are you looking for in terms of trying to improve going into next week and the rest of the season, given those losses and how Tarleton was able to suppress the offense tonight, especially when it came to the inside run game with quarterback and fullback?
Yeah, we've got to block better, and it doesn't matter that the quarterback is 20 pounds lighter or it's a different running back. Bryson Daly and Ken Kraetzer would have had a tough time running the football against those guys tonight. If we just took the quarterback and running back that we had in there and put those two guys in there, we'd had similar issues tonight. They whipped us up front. We didn't block them. We missed assignments. There were times where we should have been a combo block on a guy and didn't do it for whatever reason. They had a little different front than maybe we anticipated, but things enough that we practiced that shouldn't have been a problem. Times on the counter where people are really beating you up inside and you try to get the ball to the perimeter, and then on the backside, they run through a gap and we don't get them cut off. So it's our job to get our players to block better and to sustain blocks better, and we didn't do a very good job of that tonight. So, like I said, we had some perimeter opportunities, and we went haywire a couple times on the perimeter. Didn't block the right guy. Just passed up the guy we should have been blocking. It's a matter of the option count for us, and so we're gonna do a better job of having our guys ready and prepared.
And then second question, Coach. So one of the blessings about being a coach at a school for so long is that no loss is your worst and no win is your best. I was a cadet at the time where one of your teams lost to Fordham, and that seemed like an all-time low, at least for you there. Tarleton State seems like a much better team. Is there something that in your time you think is a good practice? Again, I remember, during my time where people who had fumbled would carry a football around a class and people would try to punch around. Is there something fun and light to try to avoid the turnovers and penalties that you try to do in your time as a head coach?
Well, as for the penalties, there are foolish penalties and there are aggressive penalties. And the foolish penalties are guys that jump off sides or false start. You have 12 guys on the field, or too many guys in the huddle, or line in the neutral zone, or punch somebody after a play because you're frustrated. Those are foolish penalties. When a guy holds, or a guy's pass interference, they're just trying to play. They're trying to be aggressive and play, and that happens sometimes. The foolish penalties are the ones that are most frustrating. And I feel like on the kick return, that's a play. We don't have to grab and hold that guy. We know better. We can play with better fundamentals. And just that's foolish just from the standpoint of not playing with good fundamentals. But penalties are frustrating. Drive stopping penalties or drive continuing penalties on defense or special teams are frustrating. But some of them are aggressive. As for the ball, the turnovers, we can't throw it to the other team. We got to be careful with the ball. We got to be willing to throw it away. We got to recognize when there's an open receiver, we can throw it to him, and when we can't, throw it to another guy. And then ball security, we practice it every single day that we practice football on our practice field. We're working ball security, and we put our guys through. We got a circuit, and every one of our skill guys is going through that circuit. And it's frustrating when a ball comes out. In this case, he just didn't tuck it with two hands. We talk about it all the time, the ball security, and when there's a tackler coming from one side, not crossing the ball across our body, because it has a tendency to get punched out right through the middle, but pulling it into your body, pulling it to the side with two hands, and he just didn't do it. And he feels terrible. So do I. But we got to do that better. We got to coach it better. We got to keep working it. I don't know if, short of doing it for periods and periods of practice on end, we do work very vigilantly on trying to secure the ball and carry it the way it's supposed to be.
Thanks, everybody.